Langton, PhD. I am a psychodynamic psychologist, here for some psychology.
Hi, I'm Spongeboob. So, I have periods of intense energy. I feel like I can do anything. Like, when the dude said, just do it? That's me. I just do it. During this time, I am very goal-orientated. I'm very creative. For example, I painted the Mona Lisa. But I'm also reckless. So, for example, I was trying to get my driver's license. And during one of these periods, I killed my driving instructor, Miss Puff. But contrastingly, I have bouts of depression where I really ponder the meaning of life. I've realized that the things we love and the emotions we feel can be simplified to random movement of chemicals in this entropic and pointless universe. How can anything in this universe have any meaning when everything is deemed worthless, as it is just simple, random combinations of atoms?
Wow, Spongeboob. Don't worry, SpongeBob. Nothing is wrong with you biologically, except that you are messed up in the head. Indeed, bipolar disorder is the varying abnormal manifestation of a severe mental process. It seems like, as a psychodynamic psychologist, that this is the product of unresolved conflicts and stressors. Although I'm not a psychiatrist, I would recommend things like drugs that may stabilize your mood.
SpongeBob, you nihilistic pig, for you trust the chemicals in your brain to tell you that they are chemicals. All knowledge is ultimately based on assumptions that which we cannot prove. Will you fight or will you perish like the dog you are?
Wow, those are some harsh words, friend. Is that how you truly feel about our glorious philosophy? I'd like to ask you some questions. What do you associate with the common man? A prototype of him, if you will.
No, I adore the concept of nihilism and consider myself a scholar of Rand, Chekhov, Camus. In fact, my nickname is the Marine Marceau. In fact, my prototype is a common person, is a brainless, visionless, meaningless sheep following his worthless life in the constructs that society dictates.
Your views seem quite different than before. I am Dr. Petrarch Langton, Fid. Will you please share with me your own perceptions of your self-concept and identity so that I might prescribe you a diagnosis?
My self-concept is that I am a pink ectoderm that, although sessile and lacking an organized nervous system, am still capable of locomotion and thought. To elaborate on my identity, or the conception, qualities, beliefs, and expressions that make me different than others, is my belief in absolute uniformity in this world. We are all comprised of the same chemicals in the same ratios, organized to satisfy the same carnalistic desires that have pervaded our minds for millennia. In fact, the only reason I continue this miserable existence is a drive reduction theory that forces me to eat and drink. You worthless dog.
Interesting. Based on your answers, I would diagnose you with DID, dissociative identity disorder, as it seems your two anti-nihilistic and nihilistic personalities are two psyches coming through. This stems from a repression of traumatic memory, as these stressors are delegated to alternate personalities to keep the core one free of anxiety. Perhaps you were abused or molested as a child? In any case, I would recommend psychotherapy or hypnotherapy so that we might contact these alternate personalities in order to learn more about them. Or might I recommend adjunct therapeutic... Oh, wait, let me try that again.
Thank you for your thoughts, Doctor, but are you aware that psychiatric conditions were created as a money grab by institutions and government? In fact, the moon landing was faked to bankrupt the Soviets. They were filmed from the perspective outside the shuttle, but if Armstrong was the first on the moon, then who put the cameras there? The war on terrorism was implemented for profit by Cheney. Cheney, Mac Miller, Queen Elizabeth II, and Madonna are lizard people, and the CIA works for the U.S. government. And Obama can control the weather, just like he created Hurricane Sandy to gather relief funds.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Want to buy some chocolate?
Chocolate? Did you say chocolate? Chocolate! 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 I'm Willy Wonka. Don't talk to me about chocolates ever, since I invented the Snickers. The US government teamed up with the FDA and the CDC in order to halt my creative genius. They tap my water to funnel me a mind-numbing drug to stifle my innovation and keep tabs on me at all times. I know this because the voices told me so.
Hello, it is me, Pedro Langton, PDF. It seems you are suffering from delusions of grandeur based on your mistaken identity as Willy Wonka, and it also seems that you are suffering from delusions of persecution based on your false assumption that the FDA and CDC are spying on you. It is in fact only the NSA's job to watch you at all times. Indeed, your auditory hallucinations are also telltale of schizophrenia, and I know that they are hallucinations and not actual people talking to you because nobody wants to talk to you. To further my investigation, please tell me your thoughts on the confectionery underbelly of Bikini Bottom, a schema of it, if you will.
My schema is that everyone is plotting against me. Isn't it obvious? Even you're plotting against me. But what does it even matter when we all suddenly drift into the abyss of inexistence, never to change the world again, and never to have left a mark? One day the sun will rise, the flowers will bloom, and the people will talk, but we will not be there.
Indeed, you are schizophrenic. In your convoluted upbringing, your ego has been destroyed by your id, in its attempt to mediate it. Now, you are ruled by animal instinct, plagued by hallucination because of your inability to distinguish reality from imagination. I could potentially try and restructure your shattered ego through psychodynamic therapy, or I could just give you a crap ton of clozapine. Alas, it seems like Bikini Bottom has been doomed by an onslaught of abnormal psychological disorders, doomed to suffer from the corruption of their inner machinations. I wish that I could help these people, but even I, Dr. Pietro Langton, PVC, am helpless. But I can't even call these souls forsaken, as we are all entirely alone. We are all condemned to the agony of existence. Would you rather be God's worst enemy or nothing?